Welcome back to another exciting video, and what we're talking about today is how to shred in the minor pentatonic scale. So you might be asking yourself, well, how the hell are we going to shred in the pentatonic scale? There's only 2 notes per string. You need 3 notes per string to seriously shred. Well, that is true. And that's what we're going to rectify today. We are going to add in a couple of notes, a couple of intervals onto our minor pentatonic scale to give us a couple of strings that have 3 notes per string that give us that shredability that we are looking for. Well, if we start adding in notes, is it still the minor pentatonic scale? Well, it becomes a hybrid at that point, and that's okay because that's playing music. You don't want to get trapped into the same box of playing for the rest of your damn life. And chances are, well, not chances are, I know a lot of people, that's where they play, and their ass is stuck there forever. So we're going to break outside the box. We're going to shoot for the stars. We're going to reach for the moon. We're going to grab the bull by the horns. And every other damn euphemism I can think about applies right now to this lesson. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pentatonic scale and we're going to add in 2 intervals. Well, what the hell's an interval? Well, if you haven't watched my video on intervals yet, by all means watch it. That is a necessity. If you're going to play any instrument in this world, you have to know what intervals are in music. Intervals are everything. You know, if we're playing something and I say, I need you to play me a flatted third, would you know what I was talking about? If you don't know intervals, no, you would not. Well, in this case, we're going to take 2 of my favorite minor pentatonic positions, which happens to be the 1st position and the 4th position. And we're going to add in 2 intervals, which is going to be the 6th and the 9th. And this is going to give us just a little bit of shredability on the pentatonic scale and give us a little more flavor instead of the same boring ass 5 notes that we play all the time. So here we go. So let's start with favorite positions of... Sorry, just God, I hate cables. So, a little bit of a rant there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale, which just happens to be right here in A minor. This is position 1. Well, my other favorite position to solo in happens to be position 4 of the minor pentatonic scale. Well, position 4 in A minor is up here at the 12th fret. And what it is, it's 12-15, 12-15, 12-14, 12-14, 13-15, 12-15. So the easy way to remember the pattern if you don't know it is if you know the 1st position pentatonic scale, A minor, well, just go to E minor here. And we're going to shift 2 notes. From here, we're going to shift right here at 14 on the A, up 1/2 step, which gives us this. Then we're going to move down as regular. Then right here on the E minor, we're going to shift this B right here, up 1/2 step. And that would be C. So we're going to go from B to C, which gives us this. And that gives us the A minor pentatonic scale in the 4th position. So, now that we understand that, now let's add a little bit of badassery to this. We're going to kick in 2 notes. And sorry about the voice. I blew my voice out a week ago. And it's just now coming back. That's why no video went up last weekend, because shit, I just simply could not talk. And just remember, no matter what instrument you play, or whatever instrument you play with, you have to take care of your instrument. And apparently I did not take care of mine very well last weekend, and I blew that bitch out. So it's on the mend right now, so I figured I need to get fired up and get back and get started. So now that we have our first position and our fourth position, now we're going to add in 2 notes to this. And yes, I hate sitting this way, but this damn strap is a little on the long side, and I gotta have my guitar up here, so it's causing me to sit funky. Anyway, so we are going to add in the 6th and the 9th interval. And the cool thing is we're going to drop these in on the B and the E string, which is going to give us a couple of passages of 3 notes per string, which lets us get into a little bit of the shreddy world, which is where ultimately we want to be, is in the shreddy world. So if we drop in the 6th and the 9th in the first position, now it gives us this. We added in our 6th and our 9th. And this makes shit seriously cool. So why does that make that cool? Because adding in that 6th and that 9th, not only does it give us our 3 notes per string for just, these quick little shreddy runs we want to do, but when we go up to the 4th position, now it gives us this. So now we have descending, we have 15, 13, 12, 15, 13, 12. Well, now we have a beautiful little shreddable run here because it's the same exact repeating pattern. And that makes it that much easier and that much better and that much more badass. So the cool thing about it is you can do all your regular blues stuff that you want to do. Whatever it is. And when it comes time to do, you're soloing, doing your little, all your heartfelt shit, getting your faces going. Because, the faces is 90% of playing guitar, if you did not know that. Actually, I'm going to do a video on, in this series of how to play badass, how to play fast. Well, without this part, it just don't work. You just look like an idiot. So, we're going to cover that. But after you get through doing that, now with our little repeating notes here, now we've got a little bit of room to shred during our solo on 3 notes per string. And since it's a repeating pattern, it's crazy easy to play. So now that we have that, guess what? Now we got something we can work with here. So the cool thing is this, adding in the 6th and the 9th, is going to give us some color. Because let's face it, what the hell does everybody do when they play in the pentatonic scale? Let's say the song starts on an A minor. What's the first thing they're going to do? Every time. They're going to grab that E. They're going to grab the D here, bend up to that E. This is your E right here. E, E. Intervals. So they're going to bend up to that E every time. Or they'll bend up to the A. To give you a sense of home. I understand that. And that's what everybody does. But everybody kind of keeps repeating those 2 things over and over and over. So just what if, when you're playing through a progression, hey, looky there. Now we're resolving back to this A, but we're coming off of this B right here. B. Off this A. And that's building a lot of tension going back to that A instead of doing the arbitrary grab the E or bend into an A or whatever have you. Add a little bit of tension, a little bit of color to it. And the same thing works when that was off of the 9th. So adding in the 6th and the 9th, not only does it give us a couple of cool little shreddable patterns, it also adds in more color. And this is starting to hybrid the scale because we got kind of a pentatonic minor scale minor pentatonic / minor scale thing happening here because we've added in a couple of notes from the minor scale. And like I said, it gives us that little bit of shreddability that we need. But let's take this a step further and make shit even cooler than it already is. Because I told you, if you stay with the series, your ass is going to be a guitar god. Or maybe a demigod. I don't know. Better than you are, regardless. So, if we take our little 6th and our 9th trick here, well, guess what? We're in the 4th position of the minor pentatonic scale. And this repeating pattern also repeats right here. It's the same exact thing. Well, that's pretty damn cool, because now, all of a sudden, from adding our 6th and our 9th, now we got 4 strings that have 3 notes per string. And guess what? 4 strings with 3 notes per string, what the hell can I possibly do with 4 strings with 3 notes per string on it? You're right. Fast-ass legato runs, because that's what it comes down to. And yes, we haven't gone over legato yet. This is our segue video into legato. But check this out. Now that we've got this repeating pattern, we can do some pretty badass stuff. And it sounds pretty freaking badass. I mean, let's be honest. That's not bad. Actually sounds pretty damn good. And the cool thing is, we're playing in octaves here. Again, watch my interval video, because you have to know what the hell we're talking about. Because as these lessons go on, we're going to keep talking more and more and more about intervals. So you need to watch the video, and I'm going to hammer that just like I am use a damn metronome. Intervals, metronome. Intervals, metronome. But now that we've got this, we can do this little shreddy legato run, and it's pretty damn simple, because it's still the same exact pattern just occurring across 2 different sets of strings. And the cool thing is, if you want to get a little ballsy in it, now we're going to tie these 2 together. So let's say we're descending. Now we just tied these 2 together by adding in 1 little extra step. And all this just from adding in the 6th and the 9th of the scale. So to tie these 2 together, and all these tabs will go up on my Patreon page. So if anybody wants the tabs to this, they can get them there. But doing this, if we do our 15, 13, 12, 15, 13, 12 on the B string, now on the B string, we're just going to shift down. And we're going to do 13, 12, 10. And then that brings us back to our repeating passage, which is going to be 12, 10, 12, 10, 9, 12, 10, 9. And now we've just tied all this together. Or, if you wanted to, you could just simply do this. And that would work just as well, by making that little slide right there at the end. And that would sound fantastic, doing that fast. And you could back it up and do it the other way with the slide. Probably a little more difficult going that route. I would probably descending do this, and then ascending do this. I probably use the two different little patterns there to connect those 2 together. So let's move on. Okay, that's great, because we're doing all this stuff in the 4th position, and yeah, we're moving down into the 3rd position of the pentatonic scale when we do this. But let's go ahead and tie in the 1st position too, because it's going to give us another little repeating pattern, which is just great, because we love freaking repeating patterns because it makes shit easy, and it's all about the easy. So let's go ahead and tie the first 2 sections together. We're going to start at 15, Then from here, we're going to shift on the B string and do 13, 12, 10. Then we'll move up and we'll do 12, 10, 9, 12, 10, 9. But this gives us another little repeating pattern right here. So if we shift back one full step, now we have this repeating pattern. And this pattern happens to be in the second position of the pentatonic scale. And all this, we're tying all this together by adding in those two notes. And then we shift down a full step. Guess what? We're right back in the first position of the minor pentatonic scale. So if we wanted to tie this together ascending, back to A minor. To me, that is really cool shit. And to me, that is the beauty of playing guitar. If you understand the intervals, a little bit of time and maximum effort, you can actually achieve some pretty badass stuff. So what we've done by adding in those two notes, we've tied this together. And we've added all these 3 note per string runs. So you can do some serious freaking welling right here and cross these 4 strings and just kick ass and just absolutely shred your balls off. Just by adding in those 2 notes. So we can start legatoing all this shit together. Probably going to be a little hard to hear on a clean channel. So we can tie all that together. That's pretty damn cool. And that opens up a whole new world of shreddability for you when you're soloing in the pentatonic scale. And like I said, the beauty of guitar is it works everywhere you go. If you're doing, this is A minor pentatonic. Well, let's say we're doing it in G minor pentatonic. It works exactly the same exact way. Nothing's going to change. You're moving everything down a full step. Well, now we're here. G minor. So if you learn these little patterns, and like I said, I'm going to put up some stuff on my Patreon page, but if you remember this little pattern, then anytime you're soloing in the minor pentatonic scale, it's going to open this massive door for you, and you're not going to be sitting here stuck in this shit, forever. You're not going to be doing that, because, let's face it, it starts to get boring after a while because you're just so limited. And granted, you can do a lot of cool shit in the pentatonic scale. Everybody does. Hell, I do. And a lot of the solos I play are pentatonic based. But it's breaking out of this box. And I just showed you a killer, an absolutely killer 3 note per string run based out of the pentatonic scale by adding in the 6th and the 9th interval, which is moving us into the minor scale, obviously. But just by adding that 6th and that 9th, you can still do all your soloing in your minor pentatonic scale. Everything's the same. But when it comes time to burn, now you've got the added help of that 6th and that 9th to give you the 3 note per string burnability that you need to be seriously cool. And if you're like me, need all the damn help I can get. So, hopefully that will help out. This wasn't really so much a lesson as it was an introduction on getting some other things moving in a direction we need to move. Because I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, work on this, work on this, work on this, work on this. I wanted to show you how I solo in the pentatonic scale. And that's where I spend a lot of my life, is in the pentatonic scale. I'll be honest. I don't use the major scale that much. 99.9% of my soloing is in the minor scale. I love the minor scale. I love how it works. I love how it sounds. And it's just, I just like it. So I stay in the minor scale, and I drift from pentatonic to minor, pentatonic to minor, pentatonic to minor, so on and so on and so on. And trust me, we're going to explode this pentatonic scale open by crossing it into the minor and the harmonic minor and stuff like that. We're just now scratching the surface. I did not want to go over, this is how you play the pentatonic scale. Boring, 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 boring. Second position. Boring, 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 boring. I'm saying boring, not boing. Although it probably sounds like boing as shitty as my voice is right now. That shit you can learn on your own. You can pull that up on the computer any day of the week. You can get all 5 positions of the pentatonic scale, and you can sit there and just go, 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 go. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not going to do it, not going to do it, not going to do it. But we are going to start breaking down the pentatonic scale and doing some other cool shit. And eventually, we're just going to completely morph the pentatonic scale into the minor scale. And that way, you'll have both of those arsenals at your disposal in the same exact position. Because if you noticed here in the minor pentatonic scale, by adding in that 6th and that 9th, we're still in the same exact damn position. And we're just doing everything now in the minor scale. Which is pretty damn cool once you learn how to do it. So, on that note, we're going to wrap that up. Sorry about my voice being so shitty. Things happen, and when you're a rock and roller, which I don't really claim to be one, but when you do what we do, shit like this happens. You sprain fingers, you cut fingers, you blow your voice out. You're on stage trying to get into rock star pose number 37, which I like to call the Zach Wilde, and somebody spilled some beer in front of you, your foot hits it, you slip, and you bust your ass on the stage. And we've all been there, and if you haven't done it, then you're not a fucking rock star yet, because that is cutting your teeth to becoming a rock star, is falling on stage. That's one. Dropping your guitar at least once. That's another one. My favorite one is when you turn on your rig and nothing happens. Show's supposed to start at 10 o'clock, and at 10:45, you're fucking with your amp trying to get something working. That's my favorite one. That is actually fodder for another video, because I'm actually going to do one on rock star poses. Because there again, not only do you have to play fast, you got to be cool. You got to have the cool face, when you're soloing. Give me a damn guitar pick. When you're doing this shit, you got to have the face, man. But not only that, you got to have the stance. Because without the stance, you just look like a dork standing up there. And I need no help looking like a dork. On that note, let's wrap this up. Dude, my voice, you can hear it trailing off right now. I haven't been doing a lot of talking the last week, so it is starting to go out the back door. The cure-all right here. Sack of assholes. That's what that tastes like. So, on that note, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments, put it in the comments section. If you have any questions, put it in the comments section. Check out my Patreon page. Like I said, I'm going to shift it around a little bit, and I'm going to adjust the prices on it. Because I just went with the recommended they set up price. I just set it up that, and I left it at that. I really haven't gone in and done any fine-tuning to my Patreon page, which I'm actually getting ready to start doing. So I will have a $1 one up there, and I do know that when you do that, Patreon tells you to stop. Don't do it. You are stupid for doing that. But you know what? I think $1 is fair for somebody to pay for me to sit here and write all the damn tabs out and put all that shit up. Then as you go up in the tiers, you will get more stuff like backing tracks and shit like that. And which, by the way, check this out real quick. Real quick, check this out. One of the tones I've set up on my fractal. A little noisy. And heads up, I am going to do a comparison, like I said, between the fractal and the Kemper. I am not doing tones. You can watch that everywhere. There's 10 billion people doing 10 billion tones. If you've seen my guitar reviews, you know I'm a no bullshit, straight to the chase kind of guy. All this shit I buy. Nobody gives this to me in favor for a favorable interview. I bought this fractal. It was not cheap, unfortunately. I wish it was like $3. That would have been cool, but it wasn't. So I am going to be doing a comparison, the goods and the bads, the A's and the B's, the pros and cons between Kemper and Fractal, because let's face it, those are the two big fish in a very small pond, which is actually going pretty damn big. Check this out. I'm going to play a sound right here, minor pentatonic, starting in the 4th position, adding in my 2 notes of the 6th and the 9th. Let's rock and roll.